A 1, 2. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Guns and Guitars, and I'm really pumped today because I have an awesome kit that I am unboxing and reviewing for you guys. This is the GK019, aka a Gibson Firebird clone that you can get from bargainmusician.com. It's available in both right and left-handed models. This is a left-handed model, I'm sure that you guys noticed. And I'm going to tell you everything that I like about it, and there's a lot to like, and a couple things that I don't coming up. I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars, let's get started. Why'd you put that guitar upside down, man? I know that's what you guys are thinking. That's what you sound like too. Hey man, why'd you put that guitar upside down, man? Well, when I read through your guys' comments, that's the voice that's in my head. Hey man. Anyway, yes, this guitar is upside down because while I myself am left-handed, I don't play guitar wrong-handed. Yes, there is a right-handed and a wrong-handed way to play guitar. That's probably a rant for another video, but hey, we've got a lefty model here. So if you were left-handed, you'd be playing it like this and it would look like your typical Gibson Firebird, right? The reason why I got it in a left-handed model is because you guys keep asking me to show you guys how to convert a right-handed guitar into a left-handed guitar. I think you guys are having some trouble finding some left-handed DIY guitar kits. And I'm not really sure why, because if you guys check out bargainmusician.com, there is a whole slew of guitar kits available, and they stock them in both right-handed and wrong-handed models, okay? The reason why I say wrong-handed is because I'm left-handed, I play guitar right-handed, and the reason why is because when you're playing guitar, the hand that requires the most dexterity for all your technique and tone is your left hand. So if you're left-handed, if you learn to play guitar right-handed, you actually have an advantage over right-handed guitar players. Not to mention that right-handed guitars are much more cheap and plentiful than left-handed guitars. Like I said, there's a whole slew of reasons why if you're left-handed, just learn to play right-handed. And I would say that if you've been playing guitar for less than a year, just stop and start to learn to play right-handed. It won't take you that long to get caught back up playing right-handed. So anyway, rant over. That's the reason why I play right-handed. Anyway, the reason why I have a left-handed model from Bargain Musician, which, by the way, if you wanted to pick up one of these, you can use coupon code GUNGUITAR. It's not Guns and Guitars, not the same as the Fretwire, it's GUNGUITAR, and that'll save you about somewhere between $12 and $15 on this kit. It's an 8% off, I think. Anyway, I got a left-handed guitar because you guys, like I mentioned, want to see how I would convert a right-handed guitar to be lefty. So I just instead got a left-handed guitar and I'm going to convert it into right-handed. So I've always wanted a non-reverse Firebird. So that's what this project is going to be eventually. But for now, it's just an upside-down, backwards, left-handed Firebird. Now, if you order this kit today from Bargain Musician, it's actually going to be a little bit different than this one. I got this one a long time ago, way back in January, actually. And it's got a basswood body, maple neck, and rosewood fretboard. Now, since then, there's been an import-export ban on rosewood, so now they're coming with the Blackwood Tech fretboard. And to be more true to the original Gibson style, they're going to be coming with a mahogany body and mahogany neck as well. So instead, the wood's going to look something more like this. This is a Les Paul, obviously, so the guitar won't look like this. But this is a mahogany body, mahogany neck, and a Blackwood Tech fingerboard. So the kits are becoming more true to the standard Gibson design made from mahogany. Now, that being said, I really like the basswood. This one's got really good wood grain on both the front and back, and the maple neck has excellent wood grain as well. And man, I sure miss actual rosewood fingerboards because look at the wood grain in this one. This is absolutely beautiful. So sucks to be you guys because you're going to be getting a Blackwood Tech fretboard if you buy one of these. I was lucky enough to get a rosewood one. The neck pocket fit absolutely perfect. This kit has lots to be excited about. It's a fairly easy build. I had the whole thing together in about an hour. The trickiest part was the wiring, and that's because it's just your typical Gibson wiring where you have each pickup has its own volume and tone control, right? So the pickup gets wired to its volume and tone control, and then has to go all the way back through the body to the switch, then all the way back from the switch through the body and to the output jack. So it's just a lot of crisscross wiring in there, which makes it a little bit difficult, but this kit does come with a ribbon style wire. So it's like 4 wires that are kind of glued together in the shape of like a ribbon, like you'd find on inside of a computer. And that makes it much easier because feeding that ribbon wire through there, that'll get you your 2 hots from your volume and tones to your selector switch, and then your hot and ground coming back from it, no problem. So it wasn't that difficult. That was the most difficult part. There were only a couple of snags that I ran into while building this, and the first one is this output jack. The body cavity just wasn't routed quite deeply enough in there to get the output jack to poke all the way through the wood to get that outer nut threaded on. So I did have to remove just a little bit of material right there. The other snag that I ran into was just that this nut piece is way too tall, and I'm gonna cut to the workshop footage so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I got this thing all built up and set up, and I've been playing on it for a little bit, and I'm really liking this guitar. The neck's pretty good, the frets are pretty good. I think they're probably about as best as we can expect from a cheap kit like this. The tone is pretty good, and I'll show you guys all that in a little bit, but before I demo it, I just want to like this guitar a little bit more, and one of the things that's preventing me is how tall this nut piece is. Now, I know what you're thinking. I have this set up right-handed, and it's a left-handed kit, so that means it would have had a left-handed nut piece, and that's correct. This is the nut piece that came with the kit. This nut piece right here is a nut piece that I took from a different kit that had the same style of neck, same style of nut, but was set up right-handed. So I did measure, and they are the exact same height. They have the exact same radius. They have the exact same slots cut. Just the only difference is this one's for right-handed, this one's for left-handed. But I already knew when I pulled this kit out of the box and looked at the neck that this nut piece was going to be standing a bit too tall. And so when I installed this one, which is the exact same height, I was of course correct. It is way too tall. If you look, I'll pinch this down here on the 2nd fret, and then you can see right here I still have about 3 millimeters of clearance over that 1st fret, and that's way too tall. So I'm going to need to remove 2 or 3 millimeters. Like I said, the radius is fine, the nut slots are cut just fine. The only thing I need to do is just lower the overall height. So I'm going to do that the way I always do it, just because it's the easiest way, rather than taking some nut files and kind of filing each groove out individually. I'm just going to remove a little bit from the bottom. Some people give me grief over this, but I get such good results, and it's so much easier that that's just the way I'm going to do it. So that's, I guess, my first real big issue with this kit is just that that's too tall, but that's an easy fix, as I'll show you right now. So I just pulled out the nut piece. I just left the strings up there because I'm going to put it right back here in a minute. And typically what I would do is I would just take this nut piece and just run it along this file like this, back and forth a few times. But I have to remove 2 or 3 millimeters of material, and that's going to take all day. So I'm going to do it the lazy way, and I'm just going to remove a bunch of material using my Dremel tool. Now, I know that using a Dremel is like a really hack job way of doing this, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I just want to get this done quickly. I know that I'm going to be replacing this nut piece in my final build, so I'm really not too concerned about just absolutely nailing this right now. I'm just kind of getting the guitar playable in the meantime, and then I'll be replacing this thing later. Now I'm just cleaning up that bottom edge so it's nice and flat, so that when I go glue it back in, it'll sit down perfectly the way I want it to. All right, so I went ahead and put that nut piece back in there, and it's looking much better. Now I've got about 1 millimeter clearance there on the high E, which is perfect. I got between 1.5 millimeters and 2 millimeters on the E string, which is a little high. But it's good enough for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that back in place, and now we can sound demo this thing. So anyway, now that nut height is perfect. So now when I'm playing these chords, they're not super out of tune. That was the issue when I originally built this thing and set it up. It had a decent action, except for it was taller at the nut piece than it was at the 12th fret. And so these top chords were just really out of tune. I could not get them to stay in tune at all. So that's why I went ahead and fixed that, so that when I demo it for you guys, you don't go, "Why is that guy's guitar out of tune?" That's also how you guys sound. So you either sound like this, "Why is that guy's guitar out of tune?" Or you sound like this, "Why is that guy's guitar out of tune?" Just so I don't have to field those questions, which now I'm gonna get those in the comments, I'm sure. Went ahead and fixed up the nut piece. So now we're ready to demo it. So for this demo, I'm going to be recording directly into Logic Pro, as I always do, using my Focusrite Scarlett USB interface. And for amp simulation, I'm going to use my favorite Boutique Tweed amp simulation, but no effects pedals or anything like that. This is just the straight tone of the guitar with that amp simulation. So check it out.